morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today, I need to have a chat with you guys about Serena. Now, when I showed you all of these secret rares from the new Incandescent Arcana set yesterday, I told you that Serena was going to be the most expensive card in the set. And I'm not ready to bring you a full rundown of the most expensive cards in the set. We're going to let the prices stabilize a bit over the weekend, and then we're going to have a good chat about it next week. But we do need to talk about Serena today, because the price of Serena is going absolutely silly nutty high. It is, frankly, a little bit ridiculous. Now, obviously, we all know that Serena is a very popular character. That shouldn't really surprise anyone. This is not news. Serena has always been a popular character, and especially over in Japan, Serena is an extremely popular character. If anyone has forgotten, Serena is the player character in Pokemon X and Y. Or if you go for the male character, she is she's your rival. I chose Serena, I'll be honest with you. Serena's just cooler than Caleb. I'm putting it out there. Point is, I literally just finished Pokemon X like last week. No, earlier this week I finished Pokemon X. And it's a fun game, but I will say maybe the weakest of the main series games. Still cool, and Serena, and by the way, that's like saying the worst Okacheke artwork. Still a phenomenal game, still absolutely adored it. But Serena has always been very, very popular, and over in Japan, very, very popular. So when there was a full art, we knew that we were kind of in for trouble here. But then we've also got to bear in mind that Serena is a crazy good card. Serena is an extremely good card. I mean, if we go and look at trainer cards generally, the regular artwork of Serena is not going to make it that much more popular than the other characters. Because, yeah, sure, Serena's a really popular character, but that means that people want the full art version. The regular art of Serena, just because Serena's a popular character, is really not going to jump it that high. A little bit, but not too high. But if we look over on Card Rush at the price of Serena compared to the others, it's basically 5 times as much. Serena is about 5 times as expensive as the others. Now, there is Judgman there, but do bear in mind Judgman has been out a few times, so the competitive players have got Judge. For Furisode Girl and Wallace, nah. They're fine, they're not amazing. Actually, Wallace, I think, is bad. Furisode Girl's quite good, and you'll notice Wallace there. I've told you it's bad. There's a reason it's a 50-yen card, not an 80-yen card. But Serena is a very, very, very good card. A really good card. Because basically it lets you choose one of 2 things. Either you discard up to 3 cards from your hand and draw till you've got 5 cards in hand. Discard, very, very useful. Because, a lot of decks play for the discard, or if nothing else, you can just draw more cards. But then also, you're drawing until you've got 5 cards in hand. It is decent draw power at any point in the game, which is good. But it's got a second effect, you choose one or the other, whereby you can gust one of your opponent's Pokemon V. Now, it's only Pokemon V. You cannot gust regular Pokemon, but you can still gust Pokemon V. And that's kind of a problem here. Because what we've got here is gusting with draw power. Like, Boss's Orders is a great card, but if you draw it turn 1 when you've got a bricked hand, that's not good. We don't like this, because it doesn't give us any options. Serena, sure, it's not as good gusting as Boss's Orders. I'm not going to pretend for a second it is. But if you've got a bricked hand, Serena will help you get out of that hand. Serena is a great card. And that's the background you need to know here. Yes, Serena is a very popular character. Yes, Serena is a very good card, even if you ignore the character and you mash them together and things are looking expensive. It is worth noting, if we take a couple of looks at the character rares, we do actually see that Lizia and Altaria is just as expensive as Serena here. They're both coming in at 880 yen. The Altaria is not a particularly good card. The Braixen's not a particularly good card. This is very much a popularity contest, and Serena and Lizia are winning. I think the Hyganasuke artwork on the Jinx is phenomenal, although I hate Jinx. And I actually do think Jinx is a way more playable card than the other two. But when it comes to character rares, They're quite, you get 3 per box. There's only 6 in the set. So the playability doesn't really come into it that much. It is very much just a popularity contest. And when it comes to a popularity contest, Lizia and Serena are running away with the field. So with all of that borne in mind, what are we actually paying right now for the full art of Serena? Well, 42,800 yen. That is what the current listing is up at. 42,800 yen. Which is ludicrous. That is absolutely ludicrous. We're talking somewhere in the region of a little bit of rounding of $305, actually not even rounded, or about £260 for a card. And you know what the weird thing is here? This has actually calmed down since yesterday. This was worse. There's a screenshot here, Brace Gaming, one of our lovely friends, who actually managed to screenshot this yesterday, sold out at 50,000 yen. Like I say, it has calmed down a little bit since then. The price has dropped a little bit. And this is what I mean about leaving it the weekend until, you know, wait till the price has stabilized before I bring you my list of most expensive cards next week. But it still absolutely must be borne in mind that it stabilized down to a $300 card. Now, it is worth bearing in mind that there is actually a cheaper version of the Serena, but don't get terribly excited. There is a now you'll notice the one I showed you before, there were 15 in stock. There is a listing for 34,800 yen, but there's only one in stock, and you'll notice in the description it says status A-. What that basically means is it's not mint. Lightly played, or something along those lines. It doesn't mean damaged or anything silly like that. Or maybe it's even near mint. But the point is, it's not mint. And when you're paying this much money for a card, you want a minty card. For anyone that's wondering, 34,800 yen is still far from cheap. You're talking about $250 or around about £215. So still a crazy expensive card. And honestly, when you're spending that much on a single, you might as well go for the super minty one. This is crazy hyper expensive, but as I've told you many times before, when you're looking at Japan, it's always a good idea to go and have a look over at Mercari, because that's what Japanese players tend to use instead of eBay, and maybe we can find some better deals over on Mercari. Maybe that's going to be cheaper. Who knows? Slightly. I'll be honest with you. You can pick it up slightly cheaper. There are a couple of listings, generally around about 32,000 yen is what people are asking over on Mercari. Here are a couple of listings for 30,000 yen. Let's use those ones. Now, again, you're buying from Mercari, which is kind of like buying from eBay, so you need to be extremely careful about the condition under which you're buying these cards, but 30,000 yen is still not cheap, like at all. It's better, don't get me wrong, but it's still far from cheap. You're still talking about $215 or around about £185. That is still a crazy expensive card. Bearing in mind, booster boxes of Japanese cards, if you buy a booster box of this set, they retail for around about $40. So that should give you some kind of, well, way to put this into context. If you pull a full art Serena, you have absolutely hit the jackpot from this set. It is, yeah. It is a little bit silly. Now, you might be wondering about the Rainbow Rare of Serena, if Serena is such a popular character. Yeah, it's like 4,480 yen. And I've been telling you this for years at this stage. Nobody likes the Rainbow Rares. I'm sorry. Nobody likes the Rainbow Rares. And I'm not saying the Rainbow Rares aren't pretty or anything like that. And I will say the texture over in Japan is really rather beautiful. It's better than we generally see on the English cards. And I bought a Rainbow Rare in my most recent box opening and it would look lovely. But compared to the full arts, it's not even close. Not even in the same ballpark. it's kind of like 1/8 of the value. So you're talking 4,480 yen, which is actually less than you would pay for a booster box. So you're talking about $32 or about £28. It's not good, ladies and gentlemen. It is not good at all. So if you pull the Rainbow Rare Serena, it's still going to be one of the biggest cards in the set. It's still going to be a cool pull, but when you put it side by side with the full art, you are going to end up feeling a little bit sad. So yeah, Serena, it's getting a little bit silly. There is every possibility that this is going to calm down and that this is not going to end up being quite as ridiculous as time goes by. But as it stands at the moment, cards generally don't debut this high. It is extremely rare that cards debut at this level over in Japan. Now, I did actually show you that Giratina debuted crazy high over in Japan, and that debuted for 30,000 yen, and I told you that that was a ridiculous price, and that was on the same website, I should say, and this is debuting for almost 50% more. That should tell you quite what the market thinks about this card at the moment over in Japan. For what it's worth, if you want a comparison now for that Giratina, it's actually stayed pretty steady at 30,000 yen. It's about the same. So that card hasn't really come down in price at all. It's sticking at around about 30,000 yen. I would expect Serena to end up falling a little bit, because it does seem that this is just too high. But as it stands at the moment, what we've got is one of the most expensive, most hyped cards we've seen in years. This is not a normal thing. Yeah, we know that the popular female full art supporters tend to be very expensive over in Japan. That has been a trend for a while, but they do not tend to be this expensive. So if you want full art Serena, I wish you guys the very best of luck. It is not going to be easy. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's Serena. That's how much it's going for, and now it's over to you guys. Would you pay this much for a card? Do you think it's worth that much? Do you think the value is going to hold as time goes by? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me at Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk Pokemon and card games and Pokemon card games and all kinds of fun things. And do please consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get weekly bonus podcasts or answer all of your questions, join a Discord where we chat some Pokemon, and I give shout-outs to people like the lovely Kanto Royal, who is a very lovely person, who is one of our supporters. Thank you very much for the support, and for being a very lovely person. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.